Precisely on November 27, 127 years ago, a scientist named Alfred Bernhard Nobel founded the Nobel Prize, an international award event for people who have had an influence on the development of science, economics, politics, and world literature. The Nobel Prize has been recognized as the most prestigious annual award event in the academic field since its inception. Of course, you know some of the names of famous figures who have won the Nobel Prize, such as Albert Einstein and Alexander Fleming. But did you know that the founder of the Nobel Prize, Alfred Nobel, is one of the most influential scientists in the world? He was the chemist who discovered dynamite-type explosives. This time we will discuss a brief biography of Alfred Nobel and some of his discoveries. Alfred Bernhard Nobel was born in Stockholm, Sweden, on October 21, 1833. Since childhood, Nobel has had a great curiosity about the world around him. Nobel grew up studying his father's work as a gun and ammunition maker. But his father's business in Sweden did not run smoothly. Therefore, Nobel's father then moved to St. Petersburg, Russia, to work in an explosives factory. Recognizing their son's talent, Nobel's parents sent him to several teachers to study chemistry and foreign languages. Nobel's genius was also proven. It didn't take long for him to master chemistry and speak English, French, German, and Russian fluently. At the age of 18, Nobel began studying chemistry in several countries, including France and the United States. 5 years later, he returned to Russia to help his father make war equipment for the Allied forces in the Crimean War, 1853 to 1856. Several years later, Nobel and his family returned to Sweden. There, Nobel began experimenting with explosives. Unfortunately, in 1864, when Nobel was 29 years old, a big explosion occurred in the Nobel family factory, claiming 5 lives, including Nobel's younger sibling. This dramatic event prompted Alfred Nobel to create a safer explosive. It was only in 1867 that Alfred Nobel succeeded in patenting his invention, a mixture of nitroglycerin and an absorbent called dynamite. However, the world has almost completely ignored Nobel's efforts to create dynamite. In 1888, Nobel's older brother, Ludwig, died in France. Unfortunately, French newspapers at that time even published Alfred Nobel's obituary, and it was written that his discovery of dynamite was a cursed thing. The incident left Alfred Nobel disappointed and worried about how the world would remember him. So in his old age, Nobel planned to dedicate most of his wealth to establishing the Nobel Prize, an event to honor figures with extraordinary achievements in the fields of physics, chemistry, and literature, as well as having a vision for world peace. On December 10, 1896, Alfred Nobel died of a stroke in San Remo, Italy. He left his assets worth 31.2 million krona, about 250 million United States dollars, or Rp. 3.7 trillion, to establish and finance the Nobel Prize. That is a brief biography of Mr. Nobel, Alfred Bernhard Nobel. Apart from discovering dynamite, Alfred Nobel is also listed as the inventor of gelignite and explosive caps.